This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. This is our first new show of the year. We hope everyone had a great holiday, but we're ready to be back in the saddle again. And we start off today's news that Tesla ended 2021 with a bang. The EV maker revealed it set a record in the fourth quarter of last year, delivering 308,600 vehicles globally. That smashed analyst estimates, who forecasted deliveries of 263,000 vehicles. Overall, Tesla sold 936,000 EVs in 2021, up 87% compared to 2020. And that's pretty impressive considering the chip shortage, which had a big impact on most other automakers. And 2022 should be another record year for Tesla, with its plants in Austin and Berlin scheduled to start production. But it's not all good news for the company. NHTSA announced that Tesla is recalling more than 356,000 Model 3s over rear-view camera issues and nearly 120,000 Model S's because of front hood problems. And it's recalling 200,000 Model 3s and S's in China because the trunk lid can open suddenly while the car is in motion. Tesla also agreed to prevent drivers from playing video games while the car is being driven after NHTSA opened an investigation into that feature. New York City is adding the Ford Mustang Mach-E to its fleet of government vehicles, including for law enforcement. The city announced it's purchasing 184 Mach-E's for $11.5 million. That works out to $62,500 per vehicle. The Mach-E's will start arriving by the end of June. The city is also planning on adding Tesla Model 3s to its fleet as well. The Big Apple is aiming to convert its entire fleet to an all-electric lineup by 2035.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Electric vehicles look like they're the future, and it seems like everyone wants to develop one, including Canada's entire parts supplier industry. The Canadian APMA, or Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, announced Project Aero at CES in 2020, an all-Canadian effort to design, engineer, and build a zero-emission concept vehicle. And here's a digital rendering of what that vehicle could look like. It sure looks like a small electric crossover that looks like it could come from just about any manufacturer, but it also has some cool tech. It's trying to make the body from 8 large laser-welded stampings, and like Tesla, used large castings to form the front and rear frames. Level 3 autonomous capability is also being developed, as is a battery pack from a joint venture between giant Canadian supplier Martinrea and another company called NanoXplore. NanoXplore is a graphene supplier working on a way to use that material in batteries. The next phase of Project Aero is to make a real prototype and take it on tour, possibly starting with CES in 2023. Rivian has been flying high. It was initially valued over $100 billion after it debuted on the stock exchange in November. It's grabbed tons of headlines for deliveries of its all-electric pickup and SUV. But just like everyone else, it's running into problems securing battery modules and semiconductor chips, as well as issues related to the pandemic and a tight labor market. So Rivian announced it's delaying versions of its vehicles with a larger battery pack until 2023. The current battery provides over 300 miles of range. The larger one pumps out 400 miles. But since only 20% of its pre-orders were for the larger battery pack, it's prioritizing the smaller one. Ford might not be as interested in India anymore, but others are. In September, Ford announced it would start to pull out some of its manufacturing out of the country. And according to a state minister, it's already seeing interest in one of Ford's plants there. Tata, which owns Jaguar Land Rover, has shown interest in the plant, and early-stage talks are going on with other firms. Ford ultimately gets to make the final decision, but the Indian government is just trying to facilitate talks between the companies.
Mobility is becoming electric, connected, and autonomous, just like the manufacturing world. But will always be one thing: a reliable partner for our customers.
Autonomous vehicles continue to make progress. Self-driving startup TuSimple says it successfully completed a fully autonomous run in a semi-truck recently. The Class 8 semi-truck didn't have a human on board and didn't require any human intervention on its 80-mile route. The trip, which happened at night, started at a rail yard in Tucson, Arizona, and ended at a distribution center in Phoenix. Waymo is currently developing its autonomous technology in Chrysler Pacifica minivans and Jaguar I-Paces, but now it's collaborating with another OEM. Waymo announced it's partnering with Chinese automaker Geely and will integrate its technology in a purpose-built ride-hailing vehicle from Geely's electric mobility brand, Zeekr. It looks a lot like a minivan, and it features a flat floor with plenty of space for riders. And there's no steering wheel or pedals. Waymo plans to launch these vehicles in the U.S., quote, in the years to come, but it didn't announce a specific date. But that brings us to the end of today's show. But make sure you look for our CES coverage coming up later this week. But thanks for joining us, and we'll be right back here again tomorrow.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Scheffler, we pioneer motion.